Welcome to this month's edition of OSU Extension Monthly. It's fall, you all, and it's the time for pumpkin. Our program today is going to focus on pumpkins. Do you know that pumpkins are really a squash? And they are a fruit, and they are so good for us. They are just the kind of thing that we look forward to whenever fall is coming. Now, I'm not one that really likes to decorate, like cut out a jack-o'-lantern, but I do like to decorate pumpkins, and we're going to show you how to decorate a pumpkin here in a little bit. Before we get to that, I'm going to talk about how nutritious pumpkins are for us. They have vitamin A, they have vitamin B, they have potassium, they have iron, all of the nutrients that our bodies need. And so eating pumpkin is really healthy for us. Pumpkin flowers are edible. Pumpkin flesh, the inside of the pumpkin, is edible, as well as the seed. When you clean out a pumpkin to make a jack-o'-lantern, save those pumpkin seeds, wash them in some warm, salty water, and then lay them out on the baking sheet. Put some whatever kind of flavoring that you want your pumpkin seeds to have on top of that. Stick them in the oven and roast them. And they're really, really good. So pumpkins really have a lot of value to us in our lives because of the nutrients they contain, the fact that we eat just about everything but the rind and the stem. Pumpkins are not hard to cook, although there are some tricks to cooking a pumpkin. There are different types of pumpkins as well. This particular pumpkins that I have here are jack-o'-lantern type pumpkins. They were grown to decorate and to make into jack-o'-lanterns. If you really want good pumpkin for making desserts or soups and those types of things, it's better to buy the little pie pumpkins. I haven't seen any out in the markets yet, but you will if they're not out there now. And they're about this round. They're not very big. And what you do is you can slice them in half and put them skin side up and bake them in the oven and then scoop the flesh out of them. And that's really truly about the best way to prepare them. Now you can go ahead and peel them and cut them up into cubes and put them in some water on the stove and cook them that way. But my favorite way, of course, is in the oven. I think it kind of gives it a different texture and a different flavor, and I really like that. This is National 4-H Month, and some of our 4-Hers are going to be decorating pumpkins to sell for a fundraiser. So, there's lots of things you can do with pumpkins, and this is something that they've chosen to do. So, the types of pumpkins that we are talking about making are these that are decorated with the flowers. I've already got this one made. This actually is a styrofoam pumpkin, not a real one, so it will last. This one over here, it is a real pumpkin, and it's not going to last throughout much of the season, and then it'll be gone. So there's different reasons for having the different ones. So what I have here is some supplies that you need to decorate a pumpkin that looks similar to some of the ones that we have here on the table. What I have is a pumpkin. This is a styrofoam pumpkin. They're pretty pricey. I believe this one was about $40. But again, it's something that you can keep for a long time. So we're going to take a real pumpkin here. And what I have done is taken a paint and a sponge brush. I have found that the sponge brush works best for brushing the paint onto the pumpkin, and you're going to get it all covered really good. I think brown's kind of a pretty color for a pumpkin. I like orange, but I kind of like the brown too. And then you've got some artificial flowers, and we're just going to, for this TV show, I'm just going to kind of stick them on here so you can get the idea, because I don't want to plug in a glue gun. but you would need a glue gun. You also need wire cutters so that you can cut the long stems off of the flowers to put them onto your pumpkin. So we get our flowers on there, and we're going to add a bow. And I can't see from the back how this looks, so I'm thinking it's going to be okay when I'm all said and done. So we can put a bow on there and hot glue us some flowers on there, and we've got us a decorated pumpkin. And I think it's really pretty. The brown is a new color this year. You see a lot of brown pumpkins around. Last year they had the teal pumpkins, and if you remember, those indicate homes where they are giving non-edible treats out to young people who may have diabetes. And so there's different ways that we can use pumpkins, and then different ways we can decorate pumpkins. So if you're like me, you don't like to cut into them and make a big mess, decorate them with some flowers and enjoy them out on your front porch, enjoy them on your dining room table, or just wherever you would like to put them. I want you all to have a really happy fall this year, and I'm going to turn the program over at this time to Ashley Gutierrez, and Ashley is our 4-H educator here in Texas County, and I think she's going to get a little spooky.
Yes, Arlene, I am doing something spooky today. I am going to be doing a pumpkin patch graveyard out of Oreo cookies, chocolate pudding, and cookies with, of course, everybody's favorite, pumpkin candies. To start it out, I'm going to make my pudding. I am going to put my pudding in a bowl and mix it with 2 cups of milk. I already got the milk measured out, and just put it in there and whisk it together until all of the pudding is mixed up. You want to make sure all of the chocolate crumbles powder is dissolved, so it'll have a nice creamy texture to it, because nobody likes chewing on sugar. So once it's all mixed up, you want to set it off on the side for 5 or so minutes and let it set, get nice and hard. In the meantime, we are going to work on the Oreos. What I've already done is I got Oreos, put them in a bag, and I used a bowl and I crushed them. Made it nice and fine. You can use a rolling pin, a hammer, but you might break the bag doing that, so a bowl or a rolling pin works just fine. So while the pudding's setting, takes a little bit longer, we're going to take our Milano cookies and we'll make our tombstones. I got just basic black gel frosting that's edible, and you're going to put RIP on it. Or you can put something spooky, if you can write a little, here lies, or anything like that. Just simply RIP. Works for me. And if you want to do it in a bigger bowl, you can do it in a bigger bowl. If you do it in a big bowl, you'll need maybe 2 packages of pudding versus the 1. If you do an even bigger bowl, you may need 3 deals. It's kind of how you guys would like it done. And there, I have my headstones. It's a little bit more set. So what we're going to do is we're going to pour it into the bowl, our serving bowl. Pour about half of your pudding mix. Then you get your crushed up Oreos. Oreos is going to be your dirt, so you want to add a nice layer of dirt. Kind of make a nice flat layer. You can make it thick in one spot, thin in the other. Just make sure it's all nice and leveled all out. Then you want to get the rest of your pudding and put it on top. Then you want to take some more Oreos and give it your dirty dirt. Cover all of your pudding. Next, you take your headstones, stick them randomly anywhere throughout your bowl. You can put 2, 3, 5, whatever floats your boat. Then get your candy corn pumpkins and put them again randomly throughout your pudding. And there you have a scary pumpkin patch graveyard. Next is going to be Katie, and I believe she is making some Butterfingers for us.
And like Ashley was saying, I'm going to be making Butterfingers. And for the Butterfingers, you just need 3 ingredients, so it's a very simple recipe. You're going to need candy corn, peanut butter, and you want the cream kind, not the crunchy kind. And then you're going to need your chocolate chips. I picked out the milk ones, or you can have the other flavors, dark chocolate, that you would like. With this, what you're going to do is you're going to need 2 cups of your candy corn. You're going to put it in a microwave safe bowl, and you're going to microwave it for 90 seconds. And then every 30 seconds, you're going to want to stir it up so that it gets all smooth and there's no hard parts in it. After that 90 seconds is up, you're going to take the melted candy corn out of the microwave, and you're going to put 1 1/4 cup of your peanut butter in there. And you're going to stir it all together, mix it up good, and then you're either going to, you can form balls to make it Butterfinger balls, or you can put it into a pan. I put it into a cake pan, and you're going to smooth it out, and then you're going to put it in the freezer for about 15 to 20 minutes. And while you're letting it do that, you're going to microwave the whole bag of chocolate chips as well for about 35 to about 40 seconds. And you're going to pull out that pan of Butterfingers. And when you do that, then you're going to pour the melted chocolate over it. And then you're going to re-put it in the freezer, or you can put it into the refrigerator as well. And then once you get done with that, you either cut it up into bars, or if you did the balls, then you don't have to worry about that. And then you can either decorate them with the white or yellow melted chocolate as well to get them more decorative. And this is what it will look like once you get done with the finished product. As you can tell, it does look like a Butterfinger, and I haven't split it up or anything like that yet, but it's a good, easy homemade treat that you can do for either classroom setting or for your trick-or-treaters when they come by your house.
Well, thank you, Ashley and Katie. It looks like we have some yummy, yummy treats for Halloween. And you saw how super simple both of these were. And actually, they would be something that your children could help you make, and it wouldn't be too difficult. Like the Butterfingers that Katie made, you could wrap them individually in saran wrap and give them out as a Halloween treat. If you do that, though, I would say that you only give them to people who know you, because if you give them to people who don't know you, they probably aren't going to let their children eat. And you know, when we need some Halloween safety, and some of those safety factors for Halloween is that you inspect your children's treat once they get home with them. Encourage them not to eat as they are trick-or-treating, so that you can identify if there's anything in their bag that would be harmful to them. As far as the graveyards go, Ashley put them in round bowls, but you could actually make that in a 9x13 pan, and it would serve a larger number. This one's probably going to be a 4-serving dish, but you could also make it into a 9x13 and have about 15 servings. So I really appreciate the girls' treats that they have. We're going to enjoy them after the show. To kind of finish out the show today, we're going to talk about some facts from the pumpkin patch. And as I said earlier, a pumpkin is really a squash. Also, pumpkins are grown all over the world, in every continent except for Antarctica. Pumpkins even grow in the state of Alaska. And you would think they couldn't, but they do. The pumpkin capital of the world is Morton, Illinois. And I believe our ag educator, Katie, is from Illinois. And the reason that that is a self-proclaimed proclamation is that that is the home of the Libby Corporation's pumpkin industry. So, the Irish brought this tradition back over to our country, and it really started with the Irishman would carve turnips or potatoes. And once the Irish came to the United States and there were pumpkins, they decided that that would be a lot easier to carve. And I think they were smart in that regard, because the larger the item, the easier it is to do that. As I said earlier, you can eat those pumpkin flowers. You can put them in a salad and they will add nutrition to your salad. The largest pumpkin pie that was ever made was over 5 feet in diameter. It weighed 350 pounds. They used 80 pounds of cooked pumpkin, 36 pounds of sugar, 12 dozen eggs, and it took 6 hours to bake. Can you imagine how massive that pie would have been to see that? In colonial times, and when they first settled the United States, pumpkin was used as the crust. It wasn't used as a filling for a pie. Pumpkins have also been recommended in the past for removing freckles. If you got a lot of freckles, you might want to try to smear some pumpkin puree on your face. It also was known or prodded that it would cure snake bites. I don't think I'm going to try that. If I get bit by a snake, I'm going to go to the hospital. The largest pumpkin that was ever grown weighed 1,140 pounds. Pumpkins are 40% water, so that's really good. So you get lots of nutrients and not a lot of other things like your fats and things. Total U.S. pumpkin production in our major pumpkin producing states values like $141 million. So pumpkins are worth a lot of money. The top pumpkin producing states, of course, is Illinois, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and California. That really kind of surprised me, because I kind of thought maybe we in the southern states like Oklahoma and Texas might be the largest pumpkin producers, but we are not. That goes to Illinois, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and California. Pumpkins are primarily grown for processing. There is a shortage of pumpkin this year, I've heard, and I think that might be true, because I was in the grocery store just earlier today and looking for some pumpkin, and there was none on the shelf. So expect for pumpkin, if you buy it for your Thanksgiving dinner or whatever, to be a little more costly for you this year. But then all food seemed to be costing a lot more these days. So just expect that if you find the pumpkin, it may be costly for you. Some of them are grown for ornamental, and we've had one of our favorite people here at the Extension office, and we have a lot of favorite people, but one of them had a pumpkin patch at her garden this past weekend, and I think she's going to continue it the next 2 or 3 weekends. And it's been a fun thing to go out to her pumpkin patch. She has activities for the kids, photo options, and things like that. So call the extension office and we can let you know where to go to find that pumpkin patch where you can pick your own pumpkin, take some pictures of your kid, let them play, and just have a really good old-fashioned time. Do you know that 90% of the pumpkins that are produced in Illinois? So even though I named Ohio, Pennsylvania, and California, those three combined only do 10%. Pumpkins are used also as feed for animals. Wonder if any of you have ever fed your animals feed. I'm thinking pigs probably like them a lot. And probably in Illinois, where I know they have a huge swine production as well as pumpkin production, they probably do feed those pigs their boiled pumpkins. You can use pumpkin to make soup. You can use pumpkin to make desserts. And they make pies and they make bread. I have this fabulous pumpkin bread recipe. I would like to share it with you all. So if you're ever in Guyman, come by the Texas County Extension Office and we will provide you with a copy of a pumpkin bread recipe that I'm sure you will enjoy very much. It's very moist, it's very rich. It makes 3 large loaves, the recipe does. And I make it just about every year for my brother for Christmas because it's one of his favorite things that I make. And so if you would like that recipe, we will make it available to you. We're going to shift gears here just a little bit and talk a little bit more about 4-H. This, as I said earlier in the show, is the National 4-H Month. And one of the things that we always do through the Extension Service is to host the annual awards banquet or honors night that we call it for our youth. We had that event and there were many individuals that were honored. We honored the Victory Memorial United Methodist Church as our Meritorious Service Award winner. We certainly appreciate the churches that are here in Guyman and in our county that allows us to utilize their facilities for the various things that we do. So we were very honored to be able to give them that recognition. We also named Chef Virgil Gibson as our 4-H Honorary Award winner for this year. Virgil was a 4-H member here in Texas County many years ago, and he gives back to the program, and we certainly appreciate those individuals who give back to our program, and Virgil is an example of one who does that very well, and we certainly do appreciate him very, very much. The Fair Board Achievement Award was won by Miss Emily Richards, and that one, of course, is given by our county fair board, and we certainly do appreciate their support and their help with our 4-H program. We have some events coming up in the next few weeks of the month of October, and some of those are I will be doing a cooking class called Flip It, Mix It, and Stir It Up cooking school at the First Baptist Church in Hooker, and actually the kids are going to be making breads and muffins and main dishes and salads, and they're going to really learn how to read a recipe, how to measure, how to do all of those things that are really important, because I know that when Katie made her Butterfingers here, she had to measure her ingredients and make sure that she had the right proportion. Also coming up, we will be offering an active parenting class for the parents who have teenagers, so be on the lookout for when that gets started and when we do that. On October the 11th, there will be a 5-state beef conference. This one changes location throughout each year. So this year it will be in Clayton, New Mexico, and we hope that some of you who are in the beef production area will take advantage of that 5-state beef conference. Then on October the 12th, if you don't want to go to Clayton, you can go to Woodward, Oklahoma, and get it there. There will not be one in Guyman this year. It's not our year. On the third week during fall break, our 4-Hers will be traveling to Enid for the Northwest District Leadership Conference. This is a 2-day conference for our 4-Hers. Ashley will be transporting those kids to that event, and the kids always enjoy going to that, and so I know that they're looking forward to that. And then, to kind of finish off today, I want to tell you that there's 2 special people that I know that are going to have birthdays in October. On October the 15th, our ag educator, Katie Hughes, will be having a birthday. We won't tell you which one. So if you come by, we might just have some, actually I think that's a Saturday though. I can say if you want to come by the office, we'd have cake. But maybe come by on the 14th and we'll have cake. And then of course, the person who tapes our show, she's really, really special to us, and we really appreciate her coming and doing this monthly TV show for us. And her birthday will be on October the 30th. So if you see Tony Mathis, if you see her out and about around the 30th of October, give her some happy birthday wishes. We'd like to conclude today and hope that you all do have a great, wonderful fall. I know the allergy season is upon us with the corn harvest, the milo harvest. Some of us just, and I include myself in that, we have a hard time breathing sometimes whenever the harvesting's going on. But we are thankful for the bountiful harvest that our farmers have had this year with the wheat, with the corn, with the milo, and we just wish prices were up a little bit for them so that they really could make some money. But you know, it calls supply and demand, and we will do the best that we can. It makes it hard sometimes whenever prices are so low for our grains and things. So also check us out on Facebook. Katie has an ag Facebook page. There is a Texas County 4-H Facebook page. There is a Texas County Family and Consumer Sciences page, as well as a Oklahoma Home and Community Education page, which is the group that I meet with and teach them life skills as well. So we have a lot of things going on coming up in the month of October for your pleasures, and we hope you'll take advantage of all of those opportunities.